Hello, it's Phillip Taylor speaking from Richmond Green Chambers in London. And this morning I'm looking at a book which has come to us from Globe Law and Business. They're an experienced publishing company, an independent one. They're very important because they produce a lot of very useful work for us in the management of legal matters throughout the profession. And of course there's very much a strong influence both on law and management. This book is called Leadership for Lawyers. It's got a subtitle, Essential Leadership Strategies for Law Firm Success, now in a second edition. It's been edited by two consulting editors, Dr. Heidi Gardner and Rebecca Normand-Hochman, and they've written this on behalf of the International Bar Association. Do have a look at the information on the website about the book. Elizabeth was the lead writer in this particular review, and she's given it a very useful title: Inspiration, Vision and Messy Human Nature, Current Thinking and Expert Advice for Lawyers Aspiring to Lead. And of course it's a very important book for the 21st century. Let's have a look at it. It's a hardback. It's only a small book. There it is. Hardback. There's the front. Then there's the spine. Probably can't see much on the spine. Then there's some stuff on the back. Again, not probably the easiest way to see it, but let's look at the back of the book first. As I say, it's not a big book by any means. There is some blurb on the back about other publications and special reports produced by Globe Law, and it talks a little bit about the company as well, and includes their publication called Modern Legal Practice. There's no index, but there is in fact information about the people who contributed to this publication. I can't mention them all by name, but again you can see the names are set out there with useful bibliographical detail. So say no index. What you've got is you've got some numbering, so there's a conclusion at the end. The book runs to just under 200 pages in total. There's the front page again of it. Then you've got the blurb from Globe, and then you've got the introduction and table of contents there. And again, it's a very substantial, easy to read, relatively easy to read book in my opinion. You've got the name of the people or the persons who are actually responsible for each of the chapter headings, and it covers a range of very important points. Do read the introduction at the beginning, because Heidi and Rebecca come up with some very useful pointers, and then we go straight into the work itself. You can see paragraph numbering, very small amount of numbering, introduction, then the body copy. There are some footnotes, as you can see, and then there's normally a conclusion at the end, depending on where we are. There we go. That's chapter 1, introduction. There's a conclusion at the end. And that's the structure of the book all the way through. There are some figures as well. Now, what do we say about the book? It's an interesting book. It caught our attention quite quickly, and of course we've met Heidi, so we know where she's coming from, if I can put it that way, and she's obviously very, very experienced person. This is what we say: the all-pervasive influence of technology, as well as its benefits, have made their mark on law firms worldwide, and the prevailing climate of change has therefore created new challenges in which lawyers now need, ideally, to become leaders. That's assuming they weren't in the past. Of course they have been in their own way, but leadership can have different series of meanings depending on what you're doing. If you happen to be a lawyer then, hoping to achieve this objective, there's a formidable amount of high-powered help and guidance available in this book, Leadership for Lawyers, which is now, I would suggest, a well-established legal text in a second edition from Globe Law and Business. And your main mentors throughout this concise and authoritative guide are the co-editors Heidi Gardner and Rebecca Normand-Hochman. Previously a professor at Harvard, Dr. Gardner is now a distinguished fellow at Harvard Law School's Center on the Legal Profession and faculty chair of the school's Accelerated Leadership Program. And her dizzyingly diverse and impressive CV includes authorship of a business text published by the Harvard Business Press that became a Washington Post bestseller, plus the names Fulbright, McKinsey & Co., the LSE, it's the London Business School, also loom large. So she comes with a very substantial knowledge base and pedigree. And her colleague, Rebecca Normand-Hochman, is a leadership consultant who brings her expertise in research-based management strategies to the legal sector. And I think, again, that's useful because it's got someone coming in who's looking perhaps at the profession in a rather different way. And as an officer of the International Bar Association's Law Firm Management Committee and an established legal writer, Rebecca has edited 4 books, all of which have been published by Globe Law. The editors lead a team of 15 other expert contributors, mostly practitioners and consultants, many with connections to Harvard. Collectively as well as individually then, and taking an incisive view of leadership, they articulate the aims and objectives of the book at the outset. For example, the chapter on leading law firms in the digital age, which is new to this edition, deals with the practical steps required to guide interested parties and readers through the digital transformation that is sweeping across the legal arena. How right, we are actually entering a very different way of doing our business. Collectively then, the editors believe that while all parties are de facto leaders, they nevertheless face the daily pressure of delivering short-term results. The book certainly provides a wealth of advice as to how to overcome this and a host of related problems and obstacles. Citing a Harvard Business Review article entitled "Managers and Leaders, Are They Different?", the opinion is expressed that leadership, contrary to management, is about inspiration, vision, and messy human nature, hence the title of our review. Management, of course, is also about getting the job done, surely a necessity, and leadership is about responding inspirationally and effectively to change. And I come from a military background where that is absolutely fundamental in the way in which one deals with some of the problems you face in that particular arena. Also, I think it's pointed out with interest, is the awkward reality that most lawyers dislike being micromanaged. I call them layers. Ugh is actually what we've put there. The reason is many law schools don't teach leadership skills as such, although many of these same institutions of learning would argue that such skills are peripheral to the serious study of law. And anyway, they can be learned on the job, as it were. And of course, that's the key to a lot of the training that certainly we have within England and Wales jurisdiction for lawyers. So with the wealth of relevant experience supported by research, the contributors to this book in demonstrating leadership skills of their own have successfully countered arguments like this with impressive and valuable consultancy. So lawyers wishing to lead, especially those of the rainmaker variety, we think will want to get hold of this book. And the publication of the book is the earlier part of 2019, and I'm recording this in the middle of the year. Let's just have one last look at the book. There's the front of it. You can see a spine there, and then you can see the detail on the back. Just opening it in the middle. Authentic Gravitas in Law Firm Leadership. That's the title of one of the chapters. That's been written by Rebecca Newton, and its introduction, I need more gravitas. Now, as I say, when you read this book, it's actually quite easy to read through. It's not one of these books where you have to stop and start. And I would advise, if you're looking at it, to certainly attempt to read certainly some of the chapters that interest you completely. Because, as I said, there's very little footnoting, and I think it's, having looked at it and gone through it, I found it very easy to read. Anyway, a big thank you to Heidi and Rebecca, and as always to Sean O'Neill and the people at Globe for publishing a first-class book. Thank you to all. These books mean a great deal to us, and I'm very grateful that they are published. Thank you. Bye-bye.